idea last summer when I was at my son's place in Toronto, at Danny's, watching the YouTube, and he had this fellow on, Gabriel Traveler. This guy travels all over the world, solo, that is, by himself, and he does it pretty cheap. I'm watching this, and I said to myself, hell, I could do that. As soon as I got back to Montreal, I went to the CAA, which I belong to a travel agent, and I said, what's the cheapest flight to Europe? And I got a flight to Lisbon, Portugal for $700 return. I said, yeah, but can I return from another town in Europe? And she said, yes. So I says, okay, I want to fly to Lisbon, Portugal, and I want to leave a month later from Rome and come back. She says, no, well, she fixed me up a deal. It was $700 and some odd dollars. So that was the beginning of it. Well, here I am now in Parc de Fonte Lamosa, or Fonte Laminosa, I guess, illuminated fountain park. Anyways, I'm sitting here feeding the pigeons with the rest of the old folks, kind of trying to blend in. Little do they know I'm Old Man Traveler. That's it for my first stop for Lisbon. Big city, nice, but still big city, not my cup of tea. It was nice, the fort, castle they call it, but it was an old fort, oldest fort I ever been to. But I checked out the town for a couple of days. Now it's a bus trip down to Lagos, on the southern tip of Portugal, which is more of a small town, more of a tourist town. It should be nice, so I'm looking forward to that. Nice bus ride southbound. Lots of olive trees, everywhere. Bus stopped a couple of times for everybody to jump out, suck back a cigarette, and jump back in again. Well, it was a nice ride, nice bus ride. Well, I arrived in Lagos, and after my big bus ride, which was only $30, $29 actually, I found my little hostel, and I'm on the second floor overlooking Cobblestone Road. I got a shower, I got a television, and it's $38 a night. And look at the buffet. I got all kinds of food the next morning for free. So I brought some food up to my room, and I also packed my lunch, and I signed up for 2 more days. Here I am in the tourist boat, going to check out the grotto. Everyone says you got to check out the grotto if you're in Lagos, so I'll check it out for 20 bucks. Why not? Couple-hour trip on the ocean. Tomorrow I'm going to Faro. I'll take the train, and I'll reserve a room tonight for around 30 bucks. Took the bus from Lagos to Alcazar. Alcazar wasn't that far. It was only a $14 ride. But it was right on the Strait of Gibraltar where you go over to Morocco. But it was a dirty town. It wasn't a tourist town. It was a smuggler's town. I didn't like it. The streets weren't well lit. Looked dangerous. So the next morning at 9 o'clock, I went to the bus depot down to the port. There was one bus for the day, and it was westbound, and it was going to Castilla de la Plana. It was $89. Well, at 10 o'clock, I jumped on that bus, and a nice ride on the Costa Sola, Spain. Went along the coast for an hour or so, till we come to a town of Malaga, changed some passengers, then went inland, all the way to Granada. Stopped there and changed passengers again, and then went into this country that was just absolutely beautiful, where they filmed the spaghetti westerns. And this took all day, and it was just beautiful country. Spain is really, really nice. Castilla de la Plana after midnight. It was like over 14-hour bus ride. The first taxi driver I met was from London, England. Drove me right to the hotel, phoned the guy at the desk, woke him up, opened the door, and let me have my room. Lucky or not lucky? Tell me. Well, today's my first day in Castilla de la Plana, and I'm just checking around my hotel room. It's pretty cheap. It's $38 a night, so I signed up for 2 more nights. And what I'm doing is I'm sitting in a sidewalk cafe like most people are. It's a Sunday, and that's what they seem to do around here, just people watch, sit around, drink cafe leche in the sidewalk cafes. Lots of pastries, a lot of pastry shops everywhere. Pastry shops and sidewalk cafes. That's what it's like here. Really nice, clean town. I really like it here. Well, this is my last day in town, so I brought a bus down to the beach. Man, is it ever nice. It's 79 degrees out, and there's 2 or 3 people on the beach. You can see the mountains in the back, the city, and you can see why it's called La Plana. It's like a plains. It's just beautiful. I'm going to come back here one day. Took the train from Castelló to Barcelona. Barcelona's a big city, so I decided not to stay there. I switched trains and I went to a place called Genora. It's in the Spanish Catalonian region. It's on the Anjou River. It's a medieval town. The architecture's medieval. It's got an old part of the town, the walled city, so I'm going to check it out. Took the train to the border town of Perpignan, France. There, everyone was informed the tracks were washed out because there was a big storm. Bang, everybody to the bus stop. Waited at the bus station hours to get a bus. Ended up in my destination where I was supposed to get my transfer, Montpellier. But it was too late for my transfer to Sète, where I had booked my room, so I ended up staying in the bus station there. Figured I was going to be there all night. Next bus pulls in. It was Domenico, a guy I met in the terminal. He says, I got a room at the Holiday Inn, so we went and stayed there. Saved again. Well, I bid farewell to my fellow traveler buddy Dominique, and I took the train to Marseille. Marseille is a huge place. I didn't realize it was that big. It's the 3rd biggest place in France. There's Paris, Lyon, and then Marseille. I wasn't that impressed. A big city. I asked a cab driver for a ride to my hostel, and he wanted 20 bucks, 20 euros. So I walked. It was about a mile walk. It was a dungy room in a dungy neighborhood, the kind of place you don't go out at night. But anyways, I booked myself a room in Toulon for tomorrow. It's called the Sea View. It's going to be on the Mediterranean. That should be nice. Train from Marseille to Toulon. I got to Toulon. I took the bus down to the Sea View hostel. I get there. They tell me that there's no reservation for me. There's a mistake. I was kind of peeved off, to say the least. So I took the bus back to the train and went to Nice, the next town. I got off the train at Nice, took a look around. No, really richy looking place. Back on the train again. And I said, this time I'm going straight to Italy. And I headed right straight to Italy. I spent 4 days in Florence. It's the most I've ever spent anywhere. It was very nice to see. Beautiful artwork and everything. Then took the train to Rome. Wow, there's a big town. I get into the train station, I ended up right downtown Rome somewhere, and it was about a good mile walk to my hostel, which I took for the remaining of my holidays. I stayed there for the next 4 days, and went to the Colosseum and checked all the Rome stuff out. Great holiday indeed.